So speaking of crews, if you don't mind me asking you about this, can you tell me a bit about the like Soul Mavericks thing and you leaving there and what was the kind of like, I'm not saying this to ask for dirt, but just like I'm genuinely curious of because I remember you from like Throwdown when like Charlie used to sneak you in and stuff. I don't remember how old you were.
Charlie. Shout out Charlie.
Charlie was a sick guy. I mean, still is a sick guy. But
I was 14, my first Throwdown.
Oh shit, yeah. And I was like, I think I was 18. I just came in the scene, and I was like, how did this kid get in it? And then you used to battle and win.
Solid. Yeah, he done me a solid.
But I always kind of remember you with the Soul Mavericks Association.
Yeah, that's my people.
Yeah, from the beginning, and that was kind of, I think the first idea I had of you was rolling with those guys. So, and then obviously now for you to not be with Soul Mavs is quite a big thing, especially because of your visibility, I guess, and to be like, okay, I'm not with Soul Mavericks, not just like drifted apart, like I'm officially not with Soul Mavs anyway. So
no affiliation.
Yeah, what can you tell me about that?
For me, for sure, Soul Mavericks. When I joined Soul Mavericks, I don't know if you remember Abdul.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
So we had Abdul, and Abdul for me was the heart and soul of Soul Mavericks.
Okay.
He was like I really joined in like the golden era of Mavericks, but I caught the end of it. So I done like maybe 6 months a year with Soul Mavericks and Renegade. Renegade gave me my reset my foundation block for sure. Put me right back to basics. I done like two years in B team, worked my way up to A team. But then after that first 6 months a year, I never practiced with Kevin again.
Okay.
So that's a weird one as well. But then it started going to where the thing about Mavericks is everyone's kind of a different age. So obviously people started having kids, people started having to get a job, you know what I mean? People had to do what they had to do.
Yeah, sure.
You get what I'm saying? And then fast forward maybe 5-6 years of me being in Mavericks, it got to the era of when we started recruiting the new generation. Because there was a long time when it was just me and Spin.
Yeah.
Simon occasionally when he could make it, he worked his hardest. And Abdul had to leave. He had to go back to Holland, you know.
Okay.
So we lost Abdul, and that was a big part of Mavericks for me.
Yeah.
Like in Mavericks, obviously it's a hierarchy. You have Kevin at the top, even though he's never there. You still have him at the top of the hierarchy for some reason. But then you have whoever's in charge of the crew at that moment.
Right.
So when Abdul left, he was always the person, like there'd be a lot of bullshit going on in the crew, and Abdul would be like, yo, if we're doing this, I'm leaving. And everyone would be like, leave then. And I'll be like, yo, if Abdul leaves, I'm leaving, you know what I mean? And then we'd get somewhere and there'd be a bit more, less of a hierarchy and more of a discussion.
Okay.
There was a bit more leeway, you know what I'm saying? And then slowly by slowly, the crew started to drop off into their own lives, which is fine, completely understandable.
Yeah.
And then for a long time, it was me, Spin, Simon when he could, but me and Spin done 2-on-2s for
I remember
for a long time, representing and pushing the name. That was kind of what kept Mavericks relevant as well. And also, I don't know if you noticed, but they done well in crews, but the people that made Mavericks famous, they're all gone, you know. Mouse made Mavericks famous, Roxy made Mavericks famous.
True.
Me, Terra's still in it, shout out to them. No animosity there. But yeah, so it got to this stage where it was me and Spin, and then we recruited a whole new gen.
Is that like what's Benji's little brother and
Shocks?
All of them lot.
Yeah,
his age group.
Michael, Gully Squad. Shout out.
Yeah, Gully Squad. That was it. Yeah,
they're back running. That's one good thing about the dissolving of Mavericks. We got some younger original crews back.
Right.
But so we recruited like Gabriel. Jabs.
Yeah, he's sick as well.
Yeah, he's hard. And we had Isaac from when I joined. We also had Will, but he had a lot of knee problems, so he wasn't that active. So we had a whole like solid generation that we was really working on. And then
so they were they were Gully Squad before that, and then they kind of got brought into
Mavericks.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool.
But they was mentored by one of the older generations of Mavericks, Gabs.
In the first place.
Yeah.
Right. Cool.
So it was kind of natural, but it was a little bit cheeky, to be honest.
Right.
Like just snatched them, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And for our benefit, for sure. But I was all for that. I can't chat rubbish about that. I was like, yes.
Yeah, I'll take him.
At least it's not just me and Spin fucking sweating it out for this crew. So yeah, we brought them and we put like a solid year or so into them, and we got real close as a young generation crew. We kind of split it from Soul Mavericks to Soul Measy.
Yeah.
And we started branding ourselves, but then that's when a lot of trouble started coming in, because then we had the older generation saying like, why aren't you repping Soul Mavericks?
To you or
to us lot, to the whole younger generation.
Right.
And then there started to become a lot of control issues, you know what I'm saying? And like we had a thing like me, Isaac, Gabriel, and a few others. It was like, cool, let us take control of Soul Mavericks, you know what I'm saying? Like, even to the fact that like we always had to wear the branded t-shirts,
right,
but none of the new gen liked the branding.
Right.
It was all like, there's some old graffiti, you know what I'm saying? But they was like, nah, that's the logo. So it was like, all right. That's when we started making our own Soul Measy t-shirts.
Right.
But then that started to cause a bit of problems. And then this is when the whole like inactivity and activity and then picking and choosing thing came in. So we had a scoreboard inside Mavericks. Whoever was repping the most,
right,
it kind of puts you towards getting invites, you know what I'm saying?
What counts and doesn't count as repping?
Repping. So like, if you win a UK jam, you get this many points. If you do a call out, you get this many points. If you win an international jam, you get this many points. The same for qualifying. So this was what repping was.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
So you don't really get any points for just showing up?
No.
Just more if you achieve something.
Yeah. If you're repping, like, no waving the flag, you know what I'm saying? But that's where it started to get a bit tricky, because the people on the scoreboard, it wasn't representing the people that was having the say in the crew and that was getting the invites.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We had certain members that was top of the scoreboard that, because of personal issues or a little like disagreements and control disagreements, they weren't getting their fair dues.
Right.
Not me. I was fine, you know what I mean? And I was pretty oblivious to the whole thing, because I was like, I'm just trying to...
Just do your thing.
I'm trying to do my thing.
Yeah.
You know? But so we had a couple of the young gens just kind of getting a bit wronged, so it all started getting a bit tense. And then there just started to become a real divide in the crew. Like, we had one more recruitment year, and there was like a couple people, a person dropped in the crew that the whole young gen didn't agree to. Okay. But the whole old gen did agree to. Right. And then there was meant to be like a 6-month probation period. For that new person? For the new member, yeah. And they didn't pass the period, you know? Okay. They didn't win again, nothing. What's the probation? Like, what do you... They didn't gel. Okay. So the thing is, the older generation, they come for the meetings. Yeah. Half a year, maybe for a year. Yeah. But that's the only time you see them. But they, because of the dictatorship, they dictate what's going on with the crew. What we're doing social media-wise. What we wear branding-wise. And kind of the direction that the crew is going in. But then when you have a whole young gen training 5 days a week or 3 days a week, whatever they can make, and then they're getting dictated to by people that are going to their job 3 days, 5 days a week, and then come into practice once every 2 months, once a month. Right. Starts to get a bit sticky, so they're kind of saying, like, we're the ones out there doing it. Well, it's like, if you drop someone into the crew, it's all good that you lot like them, but you only have to see them once every 6 months. You get what I'm saying? You don't have to go to Spain with them. You don't have to go to France with them. You don't have to do this. Like, it got to the point where our younger gen was making separate group chats because they weren't feeling comfortable around certain people, you know what I'm saying? Right. And there was becoming real divisions in the crew. And for me, I was kind of put in the position where I was like the voice of the young gen, but obviously all of the people in the old gen, like, that's who I grew up with. And I do respect them. So I respected them a lot, yeah. And it kind of like me, if people know me, they know that I'm due to go a bit bonkers sometimes, you know what I'm saying? And I didn't want to do that. Right. So for me personally, I was like, after the 6 months probation, I spoke to the people in charge. I said, this ain't, what is this, you know? Like, I got to be front line with this person. Yeah. And everyone knows that my thing's integrity, you know? And everyone knows that I don't like certain people. But because of you lot that aren't even battling with these certain people, I got to stand front line. And like, you can watch footage of us and you can see when certain people come out, all the new gen are just like... Right. So it wasn't like a unified front? No, it was real poor. And it was like, it was real demotivating for the squad, you know what I mean? And also, because of the democracy, the kids aren't really allowed to speak, you know what I mean? And it's kind of indoctrinated into them like everyone says to them like, yo, say your part, but they say it like this, you know, like, what do you think?
Yeah.
Huh? And the kids, they're soft, you know, like Shogs is soft,
Yeah.
Gabriel's soft, Daz is a beast, but he don't really care, you know.
Yeah, right.
So they just sit there and they're like, oh yeah, whatever, and then they'll come to me and they're like, yeah, this shit's a bit whack, you know.
Right.
And for me, it was just long. It was too much pressure, you know what I'm saying? And I was starting to hate people in the crew that I've known for 10 years. And then I'm like, yo, we don't make no money as a crew. We don't even win jams.
Yeah.
We don't do nothing. I don't want to hate you people, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
for the sake
nothing.
of breakdance, you know what I'm saying?
Sure.
You guys don't even rep, you know? Like, if it was like the kids, then we'd talk about it and we'd get through it. But I still chat to the kids all the time.
Yeah.
I'm going to Isaac's thing tonight.
Yeah.
Gabriel's coming down to mine next week. Shogs came down to mine last month. Like, I see all the kids. You know what I'm saying? I just don't see the old gen. So I got to the point where I was like, yo, this is sour, you know? This is real sour. So I'm gonna go and try and keep this, like, some friendships outside of dance, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's not really worth it for me, like, not to be shallow or nothing, but if we was making money and making a living off this, and if we was repping and there was value in this crew, then I get the dictatorship and all of this stuff. But right now, you guys are just holding on to a name and you're hurting these kids. You're hurting me. And you're kind of like forming not a very good environment for these lot to grow up in. But then I'm starting to think maybe it's me, you know. Maybe I'm just being crazy because that's kind of my thing a little bit. So I was like, yo, I'm just going to take a step back. Boom. Whatever, innit?
Just to kind of preserve the relationships.
Just to preserve, like, you lot want to do the dictatorship. I'm not into that no more, you know what I'm saying? Like, for one instance, one of the older gen, he didn't speak to me for 2 years when I was in Mavericks.
Oh, shit.
And the reason it's because I said, yo, we shouldn't do all of the UK champs promotion for free.
Makes sense.
You know what I'm saying? And he was like, yeah. And then he was like, what should we do then, Sunny? And I was like, yo, tell Hooch, £400 a member, and we'll do what you want. And he was like, he's never going to pay that. And I was like, I know he's not going to pay that. But if you start at 400, hopefully we'll get something, you know?
Sure. Yeah.
But if you start at 0 and say, give us free tickets, we get free tickets anyway.
Yeah.
Then we ain't going to get shit, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that started a massive beef. That was me being disrespectful, you know? And I was like, then it got to the point where I was like, not to be rude, but how much money have you made off dance, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't like throwing that stuff out. And they're all like, oh, don't be like that. And I'm like, no, but this is my career. Like, you lot don't make money off dance. So if you want to do UK champs promotion for free, it don't make no difference to you.
Yeah.
But you shouldn't be teaching these kids that, yo, you lot, let's go do UK champs promotion. We'll be on the front of UK champs and we'll be really cool. And it's like, no, bro.
Yeah.
No one cares about that. Like, tell them, yo, if you don't get paid, don't do the job.
Yeah, sure.
But that's where the value of dance
or
is
at least
different.
like we're doing this because we're in a position that we can afford to and we want to.
Yeah.
But you guys make your own decisions.
But even so, if you're in that position, you should sacrifice that for your kids to show them that, yo, this is why no one in UK makes money off dance. Because you have people, everyone always says dancers shouldn't undercut dancers, you know what I'm saying?
Sure, yeah.
But it's always the dancers that don't make money off dance undercutting dancers, you know what I'm saying? It's not really the problem of dancers undercutting dancers, it's people with real jobs undercutting dancers. And if that's your older generation and that's what you're teaching your younger generation, it's not right.
Yeah.
Like, especially when you don't even have to ask for a lot of money, you know? Like, even say, like, yo, £100, you know what I'm saying?
At some point, it's the principle.
Yeah, just principle. Yeah. Don't do, like, and we, as Mavericks, we get free tickets to champs for the last 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
Like, so to offer Hooch, yo, we're going to do UK champs, just make sure we're on the front. Like, that's an ego thing, you know what I'm saying? And for the sake of being on the front of UK champs for free, everyone else probably looking at it like, you guys are so cool. But me, I'm like, no, we're just the cheap guys that done it for free. And they're all saying to us like, yeah, but if we don't do it, blah, blah, blah is going to be on the front. And then how are you going to feel? And it's like, yo, I don't care. If they want to be the freebies, let them be the freebies. Like, that's not what keeps us relevant, you know? The people dancing, what keeps them relevant is dancing.
Yeah.
But the people not dancing, what keeps them relevant is doing all of this weird stuff.
Is the visibility of those type of things. That's interesting. Yeah, I find that a lot where it's like, yeah, there's a lot of I can't speak on the soul. I didn't know about any of this until just now, so I can't really speak up on that situation. But I think there is definitely a lot of hypocrisy among dancers where we tell each other like, oh, ask for your worth, or we say, oh, I'm not going to work for free. Like I find this as a photographer and a videographer, right? You get, and I always complain about this, you get dancers who are like, I would never work for free, I would never do this exposure, and then they're like, hey, can you shoot my pictures for free? And I'm like, didn't I just see you complaining about that like last week?
Facts.
But people do that to each other, I guess, as dancers. You know, it's like they when somebody else asks them to do it, they're all pissed, and then they turn around and they're like, yeah, but it's for me, so come on, like, you know, or whatever. Well, this situation is different.
You know what I've done for you guys in the past?
Yeah.
And even with that photographers thing, it's completely valid, but even that one works both ways. Like, how many times have you gone to an event, I don't know about you, but you go to an event and you see 30 photographers and you can never find the photos. Like, you will never, ever, ever find the photos. And then one day, you'll go across some random guy will come and he'll give me his card. And I'll go on his Instagram page.
And it's your
there's
pictures?
photos from me from the last 4 years. And I'm like, bro.
You could have sent me them, or?
What the hell? You could have done anything, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it definitely sways both ways. And it's always like people with the visibility, they get penalised from it. But it's like a real thing that runs through our scene, left to right, right to left. And like that's kind of why we've got no value in our scene, because we spend a lot of time bitching and stuff, but no one really stands by what they say, you know?
Yeah. It's all like situational. It's like, okay,
It's all
I'm going to do
situational.
this unless it serves me to not do this.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.